السلام عليكم أعزائي طلبة المرحلة الثالثة الدراسة المسائية. أتمنى أن تكونون جميعا في صحة وعافية. اليوم المحاضرة هو طبعا ل chapter 3 identifying sources. You did remember when we explained in chapter 2 the choosing and narrowing a topic, and I said if a researcher wants to conduct a research, firstly he has to choose a topic, a researchable topic, and then he has to start working on it to narrow it down, to move from the general broad topic to the specific one. And after you choosing the topic and narrowing it down, what do you need next? The next what you needed, the title of our lecture for today, identifying sources. What do we mean by identifying sources? Sources, the reliable material which you need in your research process. Could be books, could be articles in books, could be magazines, newspapers, websites. All of these, we call them sources. So this chapter and the next one cover the fundamentals of the research process. The research process, the recommended one, you have to go to the library and find out the suitable sources for you. In the previous times, the main way to get sources, the library, and you know that there are very big libraries in some countries, even in Iraq as well. But nowadays the situation is changed. Libraries is not the only place to find the resources in. We have the internet, the useful websites through which you can access them and download whatever you like of the resources which you need. Anyway, so in this chapter it explains the how to identify sources, how to find out the reliable sources. So the key to the research in this chapter, the library, and you will be able to use personal interviews, questionnaires, and like as research material, but your paper will still almost always will rely on material you'll find in the library. In the library, in any library, there are many sections, especially the modern one, especially in the Western countries. There are many sections in the library. One of these sections, the important one, the reference section, I highlighted for you. It's on page 23 in the book. What do we mean by the reference section? Reference section is one of the most important places in the library. I said that there are a lot of sections, places, departments, call it whatever you like in the library. The important one there is the reference section. It gathers, the reference section gathers conveniently in one place most of the books you will need to help you find material in the rest of the library. In the reference section, indexes and bibliographies, which list these indexes and bibliographies, list books and articles in the books, magazines, and newspapers. They all listed in the reference section to direct you to what you need from any library you want to visit. A reference section also has collections of bibliographies, atlases, and other very basic sources of information. So when you want to access the library, in the main part of the library, there is what they call reference section. You have to visit it first to know which kind of books you want, where are they, how can you find them in the library, because there are a lot of hundreds of books in the library. Okay, so this is the reference section. There is another section in the library as well, reserve section. What's meant by the reserve section? In the college and university libraries, for example, they have a reserve section in those libraries. So that the reserve section that contains books and other material you can check out for only a short time. They are not available for a long time. In reserve section you find books, articles, materials for a short time, perhaps for an hour. They are available to borrow for you if you want to borrow them. They are available for an hour, for example, or maybe perhaps over the night, or 6 hours. The reason why, because some books and articles are used for frequently, that they need to be available to a large number of people. Many researchers, they want them, they want to read them, they depend on them. So that's why it's on a short notes. They put them for a short period. So this is the reserve section.